have new joiners. Yeah, meanwhile, I really like to share with you some insights. For sure, we are not expecting to know complex programming languages today, or we'll start to introduce you because we didn't prepare some complex application or I don't know, complex features or hard to implement things. We try to introduce you or to discover together, because today we have a lot of useful tools, let's say, like AI, ChatGPT, it's everywhere. We have Google. You can find easily everything that you want. And for today's our scope is to share with you some insights about good practices, how to define, I don't know, or how to declare, or wait a second to think more about how to use a name convention, a good name convention, and yeah, there are a lot of useful things that we consider helpful for you at the beginning. And maybe if you want and you choose Android's technology for your project during this hackathon, will be really nice. For sure, we can discuss after the webinar if you have any ideas, for sure. I think we can start, Mihaela.
Okay, first I want to make sure that you all hear me and see the screen, because I had some technical difficulties. So if it's okay, I can start. Okay, cool. Let's do this. So the first question will appear on the screen. Which tech giant developed the Android operating system? And we have 4 variants of answers: Apple, Google, Samsung, or Microsoft. The faster you... Okay, good. The faster you are answering, the more points you will get. So we have Zimba on the first place for now. Next question. What is the name of the virtual assistant found in Android devices? You know about Siri, maybe Alexa, Cortana, and Google Assistant. Good, perfect. Next one. Is it true or false that Android was initially developed as an operating system? Camera operating system? What do you think? Okay, so I see that we tricked some of you. Next. What do you call the process of modifying Android operating system beyond its original software manufacturer? Tweaking, customizing, rooting, or jailbreaking? Okay, so we have one that knew. Congratulations. Next. Which company produced the first commercially available Android smartphone?
Interesting questions.
Thank you. Okay, so some of you know, that's good. But it's good that you don't know either, because you learn it now. What tasty treat is the nickname for the version of Android 4.4? As you know, the Android operating system version have the name based on sweets. And this is a fun question. Okay, so very impressive. Some of you know, most that I've expected. What is the name of the programming language primarily used for Android app development? Okay, so you guys were very fast. Indeed, Java. And do you guys know what we are using now in Android development? So we are using now Kotlin. It's a better version of programming, of code of programming. But we could also use still could use Java, but it's not that common anymore. Okay, the next question is about dark mode feature and when it first appeared. If you have some guesses.
Hard question. Good, 3
Yes.
correct answers. Rare și some top.
Then, what term describes developing Android apps to work on various devices with different screen and sizes? This is a tricky question, but don't worry, you will learn from it.
I'm curious also.
Okay, cool. So yes,
Yes.
indeed, adaptive layout. That's how you can find it in the official documentation thing. So next. Tiramisu, upside down cake, and you can guess what will be the name for the next Android version. Very good. I didn't know until I made up this quiz. So very, very good. Another true or false question. Is Android a Linux-based operating system? 50-50. Nice. So yes, it is. Okay, we have the anonymous person now on top. So we are down to last questions. Okay, it's indeed all of the above. You can create emulators or have your phones, and there are also third-party emulators, but not usually used. But when you will start your project, you will use them for sure. And last question, what is the name of the company that introduced the first commercially available smartphone called Simon in 1994? And that's a picture of how it looked like. You could send emails on this type of smartphone. Hey, so yes, indeed, IBM was. So that was it. Let's see the podium. On the third place, we have Raresh, and on the second, Zimba, and the winner is the anonymous person. Okay, thank you, everybody, and I hope you enjoyed it. This was the fun part, and the most fun part will come, and I will let Diana continue. Thank you.
Yes, congrats to the winners. Let me quickly share my screen. And I will ask you to tell me if you can see it.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, we also had a presentation about our webinar. So this is the agenda. We already did the quiz. Then is the next part, the Android Studio introduction, a live coding session, and then a Q&A session. Quiz was already done. Next, let's dive into some Android now. First of all, Android Studio. What is this? This is an IDE, the official IDE, which we use for Android development. What is an IDE? An IDE stands for an integrated development environment. So it's basically a software which we use to build our apps on. And it also has a lot of tools which are made especially for us developers to make our life easier. So for Android development with Android Studio, I already opened the official site where you can also download this. The latest stable version is called Iguana. So if the API levels of Android have names after desserts, the Android Studio is named after animals, which is interesting. And I also opened this link, which I put here for you. Oh. Link open. Okay. Depending on your operating system, here are some requirements. So minimum for RAM or CPU. You can check this out and see if you can download Android Studio on your machine. Okay. That is the first part. Now let's have a look at the actual Android Studio. I have already opened it here. And we can see its interface. I already created the project, so I would not have to wait for it to build and sync and so on. So I wouldn't have to lose some time or something like this. If you want to create a new project, this is how I did it. So new project. When you open the Android Studio, you will also see the option to create a new project. And this is the first screen. You can choose if you want to develop an app for phone and tablets, for Wear OS, for television, for automotive. You have multiple choices here. And also you have a starter project, some examples here depending on which app you want to create. I selected an empty views activity, so blank canvas for my project. I pressed next, and here you give the basic details and configuration. So the name, the package, these are auto-completed. So if I want to change here, it will also change the package name. And it's the right way to do it. The saving location language, you can choose between Java and Kotlin. I chose Kotlin since this is the language we are currently working, and also projects developed in Java are being migrated to Kotlin. And the minimum SDK your app wants to support. So I saw that with the latest version of Android Studio, you also have this interesting tool to help you choose the version you want your app to minimally support. So that is, there are millions of Android phones in this world which have different API levels installed, so different versions of the OS. And if you choose, for example, Pi, you will cover 86% of these devices that have the minimum version of Pi. And this helps you decide which level do you want to minimally support. Press on cancel this. And also the build configuration, we proceed with the recommended one. I will not press finish right now because it will create another project, it will sync and so on. This is what we will see when creating our first project. So on the left side, we have the project structure. So if I expand it, we can see all the files that were generated by Android for the empty project we chose. This is the default view of Android. So we can see the files in a logical order. So it's simpler for us Android developers to structure our code. So for example, this package only contains our code and our unit tests. And this package only contains things which are not at all code. So there are layout resources, there are some pictures, some color resources. For example, this is how it looks like. The text that our app uses, and so on, themes, all that means resources. And our graded files, I will not get into this because this is not our scope. Next part is the editor. So here we can open these files and write our code, modify it. Here we have the main activity, which is basically our main screen of the app. This is the code for it. And associated to it is a layout file. This is nice because we have different ways of seeing this file. So only code, or we can split it, or only design. And here in the design tab, we have all the controls, and we can grab everything you want and drag and drop this and set its attributes and so on. It's really cool. And what I wanted to show you, we had a question in the quiz about the devices. You can find the devices in the device manager. Here I have a lot of them. So this is cool because you don't have to actually own all the phones in the world with all the operating systems or the dimensions and so on. You can just click on here and create your own custom phone. So an emulator basically mimics an actual device. You can choose from multiple choices here. They have different resolutions, sizes, and so on. You can also import profiles. Pressing next, you can choose the API level that you want your emulator to have. And this is the last screen with naming and other configurations. I will press cancel again because I already have a lot of them, as you can see. You can also pair your device via Wi-Fi if your phone has Android 11 or more, or you can simply connect it via USB cable. Let me show you a device here in running devices. I already picked my emulator. So this is how the emulator looks like. I will close the app. That was the app that was run on it. So this is a phone, basically. It's the emulator that I created some while ago. We have Gmail, Play Store, YouTube. It behaves like an actual phone. And this is my activity, my application. As you can see, it contains only this hello world message on it. And I think my phone is also still connected. So I can also show you my real device, which is this one. I connected it via Wi-Fi, and you can see the app was already on it. How did I do this? I chose the device I wanted to run my app on, and I pressed on this button right here, Run App. This will start the building of the app and will install the app on your phone. What else we have here? Oh, you can also explore the files on your phone. So if you want to search for a file, some database files or something you would like to explore, you can also have access to this. You simply choose your device and go through the internal memory and the files. Okay, these are the commonly used actions. So here you can quickly apply changes. You can also debug your app. You can stop it. You can sync it. Some quick action buttons here on this side, and on the sides here of the screen you also have some developer tools that I talked about earlier, which help us get more info about our app and just investigate all the things that happen when we run the app on our phone. So, for example, I have here a tool called Logcat, and this basically prints messages about what happens on the device. Here are some OS messages, but you can also log messages in the code, and you will also see them here. And there are multiple tools here. I will not present them all because we don't have time, and also they are not really relevant. Only the most important ones and most used ones. We have also a terminal here. The run and the build shows the steps done when building, and also quite important one, I will say, the version control one. So version control is for tracking the changes we made to our files. So I will also go into this part. For version control, I will enable it, and I will show you how you can put your project on GitHub, so you can have it available for everyone in your team. Here you can select the system. I will select Git. I will click OK, and you will see all the files that were generated are now on red. That means that are not versioned yet. I will click on this. I will click on Add to VCS, and now all my files are being tracked. They are now in green. That means the files are newly added. And now I will commit these files. What commits does is saving our changes locally. So I will enter a commit message, my first project. I will click on, let's only commit for now. Okay. Now, for example, if I change a line of code, it will immediately appear under our changes here, and you can see, and it's blue right now, the file. So now that we enabled version control for our project, now we can see all the changes that we've done. We can save this, we can make another commit, and so on. So we have all these versions of our files stored somewhere. We have a history of our code. We can also see this in log. So here we have the history of our commits. We have a commit, my name, and what files were committed. And then to put it on GitHub, I will share my project on GitHub. Okay, I will make my my project private and click on share. You're not allowed to have spaces. Here you can see messages about what Android Studio is currently doing. And we successfully shared the project on GitHub. I have here my repositories. Let me refresh. And you can see here that my application was successfully pushed to GitHub. I assume you will also have to do this for your project, so you may already have a GitHub account. And yeah, that's how it looks like. You now have a safe place for your project, so nothing is lost. You have a history of your commits, and you can proceed working better in teams or even by your own. And I wanted to show that it's very easy to do this directly from the interface. Although you can also do it in console and write the comments, but it's easier this way. And that was it from my side. If you have any questions, I will gladly answer them.
Interesting presentation, Diana. Thank you. As you can see, starting for the beginning, we try to expose or to present some common things that we are doing every day. As you saw at the beginning, we started with passing the mic from the team members. Let's say me and Diana and Mihaela, we're a team right now. Is a common usages in our work, and I don't know, did you hear about agile methodology, Scrum things, or if not, there is no problem. I will try to explain with few words, to not spend a lot of time, but also our presentation today is based on the agile methodology. We started with our presentation and a short round of daily. We pass the mic to the other colleagues. After that, we start with a short presentation. We can consider the presentation of Diana presentation being the planning. So we plan how we'll work. And at the end, we'll see that we'll have the live coding, and the live coding part could be considered a sprint. A sprint is a period of two or 3 weeks where we implement different features, and at the end of the period, after 2 weeks, we have different meetings, like it's called retrospective, when we decide what went well, what didn't went well, and we establish some new step for the next sprint. And as I said at the beginning, we'll have also a live coding session. I will share my screen quickly. I really want to split on my screens. Wait a second. Allow. I'm not sure which one you see, the first one or both.
Right now, I don't see anything.
Oh, sorry. I need to click on the window to. Yeah, I think that now you see the one without the meeting open, right? Or it's okay?
It's black.
Blank. Okay, wait a second. Stop sharing. Share again. Desktop. Allow to share screen. Share this screen. It's okay now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll open the PowerPoint, the presentation, and going to the not here. Going to the live coding session, we prepare a story. Story is also part of the agile methodology. It's actually a task that we plan for a sprint, and we have a scope today to provide, as you can see, helpful advice for a beginner Android developer. With added intentionally different mistakes in the implementation, in the design also. I will see at that moment. But as I mentioned, I wanted again to say that I mentioned at the beginning that we really don't want to share with you complex features or complex implementation. We really want to share with you good advice, good practices, because for sure, if you are able to find on Google or ChatGPT or on the internet everything that you want. Also, Android is a technology that has a lot of documentation you not need to learn today to program or to implement an Android application. I hope that now you see my screen with the Android Studio. It's okay, Mihaela? Could you confirm? Okay, thank you. Yeah, before starting, let's go to the second screen and to have a short overview about to the design to present the design. Design is split in 3 sections. We have the part 1, part 2, and part 3. But we'll start with the part 1. I will not read this on the slide. We'll try to understand based on the design, because that's also what we are doing every day. We receive the design from the design team. I think that you'll have also a webinar for design thinking. If and I think that will be on the next few weeks. I think I'm not sure the date. Where is the date plan? But let's start to see the design. Okay, at the top you can see we have a simple image. Yeah, it's the Android logo. Then a title. Let's say it's a title. After that, a subtitle, few interesting text, description. Then we have a game. It's called, I think that I didn't mention the full description, but we'll need to insert some text inside the input, and after clicking on the submit button, we'll see some secrets. Will display a pop-up, but we'll decide at that moment. We'll decide together. And at the end, we have share feedback with, again, a short description and a button that will start your Android adventure. Okay, let's start with the implementation. I hope that you'll enjoy that moment. And as Diana already presented the layouts and the way of doing UI elements, I will start first of all with the UI elements. I already prepared and implemented the design because I really don't want to spend a lot of time on doing repetitive things, and also to not finish what we planned for today. But let's start with the beginning. Okay, I think that already imported, that Diana mentioned on the previous presentation about Android and how IDE works. I already imported the images. You see, is the same image, and let's start to add it on the screen. We have 2 options. The first option is to write code directly in the XML file. and I encourage you to use XML file. There are two ways for implementing, implementing UI elements on Android. Is the old version with XML files, and you can write XML nodes and implement the UI, and the new version with
Dragos?
using Jetpack. Sorry, yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but I think you have very low connection, and we can see properly. Maybe you can try to turn off the camera.
Yeah, 2 seconds. Sorry.
It's very, very blurry.
Now? It's okay? Let's switch the internet
No.
connection to hotspot. Wait a second, I will try something different if the internet connection is slow. Now it's okay. Back, or I think the share is. It's okay. The share. Can you see my screen? Or
yes, but it's still not clear.
Let's stop and open again. I think it's not for my connection. From my connection. Let's start to share again. Now?
Not yet.
No.
The same issue?
When you
Yes.
close it, it was a little glimpse of correctness, but after that it's blurry again. It's like you don't have bands and your name is clicking. It's something, it is interrupting. So try to turn off Teams and try start Teams again.
Okay, 2 seconds. Sorry. I tried, it was close, and yeah, let's see now. Stop my camera and share screen. Now?
Not.
How to do that? I will try to switch to the others.
So it's okay now. Now it's okay.
Better.
It's okay now?
Yeah.
Okay, then let's continue. I'll try to not move it. Okay, as I mentioned, we have two possibilities for implementing UI elements in Android. Yeah, the first option is to use XML files, and for today we'll use the old one with XML. And I encourage you when developing your project, if you are at the beginning of trying Android and Android things, because you will find a lot of documentation, methods of implementing hard. I don't know how to say that, but you'll find a lot of useful links for implementing your project.
Dragos,
Yes.
hello. You have to know that when it is bad again. Whenever you click on something, try to move the desk. Yes. No. Try not to share the desktop. Try to share just the app.
Okay.
I don't know, but nevertheless, it's not working. It was working 10 seconds until you clicked on an icon.
Now it's okay.
Not good.
And right now I'm trying to share the Android Studio only. I'm not sure it's related connection because my connection is pretty good. Wait a few seconds to change the room, maybe will help. Okay, 2 seconds.
At the end, it was looking good for 1 second.
Wait a second, I'll try again. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry for the issues. I really don't know. I will switch it back to the Wi-Fi. It's okay. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, but it looks bad. It looks low res. It look stop. It's good now again, but just now when try to go with the mouse over one menu above.
Let's close then few apps.
No, it's okay now. Right now it's okay.
Yes, but okay. Let's start with the implement, and we'll see if we'll persist. Then I will close some apps. But probably when I'll try to write something, will be the same issue. Okay. Yeah, right now I have only one desktop, and it's pretty hard to share. But I will switch to the slide, and yeah, let's start to implement the icon. As I said, we have two possibilities, one using XML, and the second one is using the JPEG Compose feature. Is a new feature implemented and is pretty new, and for that reason we use the XML one. As Diana mentioned, we have two options. It's okay now when I switch to the design? Or also
yes.
bad? Okay.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay, and we have two options, the design view and also the code view, but also you'll see the preview here. For today, to not spend a lot of time, because I'm not so familiar with that interface. Day to day I'm using that version with writing code. For importing the images, I will drag and drop, because I really want to show you that it's possible. Also, I will use that option to add an avatar. So by default will be added an icon to our image. And what you see here right now, it's that also the IDE created or generated for us after dragging and dropping the image on our preview. Code was generated, and we can write some codes improving it and all things that we need to apply in order to meet the requirements. Because in a real project, as I mentioned, we received the design from the design team, and we start to implement based on what exactly is needed. If they decided that the icon should be on top and having some distances between, that means we need to implement like the design team was requested. So we'll do the same thing. For today, the design was prepared by a developer. So thank you, Alex, for doing that. And we are not having the dimension presented on the design, but we'll try to simulate as much as possible the reality, and we'll add manual dimensions. As I mentioned at the beginning, I already implemented here a design, but I will not choose. If something needs to copy and paste, but otherwise we'll try to implement from zero. What's important? First of all, this I think was the first thing that I learned when I started to learn Android Studio and Android development. We need to define some specific IDs, and we'll see why we need when we'll try to refer or to link the UI elements with the code, because right now I'm not having the camera open, but to refer some UI elements from the UI design, let's say from the XML to the code, we need to find the IDs. So somehow this ID is relevant for that image. So I will try to add a clear name is important, and I encourage you when writing code, doesn't matter if you use Android, Kotlin, Java, any programming languages, choose the better name for the IDs, for the properties, for methods. We'll see. It's important because we are not writing code for computers. We are writing code for humans, and we'll see that in the future we'll need to adjust, to implement, to fix a bug, or to add a new functionality, and you'll see that you'll start to write again the code and you'll not understand what's happening. And it's because you didn't choose the naming convention. In the Kotlin, the naming convention is that starting with lowercase and then the next word will be with uppercase. But for today, to not spend a lot of time, because we need to implement a lot of UI elements. Let's name let's call it I don't know, icon Android. Okay, now we have an ID. The wrap content means, but before setting the dimensions, let's add our icon, because I want to show you that will cover the whole screen. You see, was added by me, but in general, where we are receiving from the design team, they are also resized and easy to fit in the screen. But for today, I will not encourage you to use dimension, like fixed dimension. I encourage you to constrain as much as possible the UI elements to the parent or to the other UI elements, because you'll see. For today, we'll implement only for one device, and also for you, if you'll try, or if you want to use the Android technology for your project, you'll see that you'll run the app only from one device. But in reality, as Diana presented, we need to support a lot of devices and a lot of screen sizes. If you'll not constrain the image to the whole to the parents or to the other UI elements, you'll see that some text will overlaps, missing icons, missing information, because they are not really constrained to the parents, and move to other places when we are running the app on different screen sizes. But for today, we'll use 100 dps for no, it's too small. We'll use 150 dps for the icon, and also for 8. And you'll see it's pretty similar with what exactly we have in design right now, but we need to move it a little bit on the top, is because we have these tools generated properties. That's the reason for not using the design, because I really want to add the right constraint from the code. For centering, or for moving in the center of the icon, I will add two new properties. I will request the icon to be set starting with the parent. That means you'll see a point was also somehow was linked to the left, and when I will request the icon to be constrained also to the end of parent, you'll see that also the left, the right part, the right icon side is constrained to the right margin. Okay, but we have an error here. That's okay. The view is not constrained vertically. We'll need to add also another constraint property, or yeah, we can call it property, top to top of parent. And now our view is perfectly constrained. When we run the app on, I don't know, on different device, you'll see is on the same place, on the middle of the screen and on the top. I think that's all about the icon. Do you have any question for implementing the icon, or curiosity, or? If not, we can continue with the title. Yeah, for sure, image view is used for displaying images on the UI elements. You'll see that in our case, we'll not refer the icon for the image view or this icon, because we'll not add some events or different behaviors for an image, but we'll see that different UI elements will add some events on different UI elements. Next, let's see the design. Where is the PowerPoint? Okay, the design. We have a title, which is displayed also in the middle of the screen. Let's start to implement it. If you want, could you help me? What do you think I will add here? It's intuitive. Yeah, I hope that you can hear me. It's okay. I see that. Yeah, not lost the connection. Yeah, it's pretty simple. I will add a letter, then note. It's actually a text view. And we'll use the same thing for moment wrap content and wrap content. And also, to be constrained in the middle of the screen, we'll use the same properties. So the start to the start of parent, and to the end of parent, and top is important, and you'll see why we decided to use an ID for the icon, because we need to constrain the text view title to the bottom of our icon. I'll do that, top to bottom of, and now we can refer the icon in order to structure to place the text on the bottom of our icon. The text I already have here. I will copy the text to not write manually, and I will add the text here. It's a simple property. You see, text is called text, and if I'll add the text, then the text is displayed. You see that we have a warning here. Why is display? I think Diana mentioned something about resources at the beginning of the presentation. Okay, I will try to explain you. That's a good practice, as I mentioned, to not keep the strings or the text inside the UI elements or in the code. And I will explain why. Let's assume, yeah, it's a real case scenario. We are doing that every day. Let's assume that we have, let's say, an app for 3 countries. Okay, we need to develop the app using, I don't know, Romanian language, English language, and German language. How will do that? Because we have the possibility to add only one resource here, text resource. We're not able to add something text German. Is not possible. Also, in the code is possible, but what will happen if we will have, I don't know, 100 of text? We'll need to add if else, if else, if else for each language. No, for that, on the Android side, we have string resources, and we can define multiple string version, like string for English, string for German, string for Romanian language. So for doing, how we'll do that? We either use the struct string resource, and will help us the IDE to extracting the string resources, and I will do that. And as you can see, now we are referring a string that is on another place, is on this string resource file. And if I will want in the future to develop for other languages, I will copy the string file and add, let's I will copy, let's copy it, to explain, it will be more easy. Okay, then paste, and I will add something, okay, row, and I will add in the row version Android develop, let's see, how to say that, experiment Android Studio, and we'll have the second version. And if we'll need to refer the Romanian language, we'll use the Romanian language. Then we'll use the other way with English version. But I will delete it right now to not have some problems on the build. Okay, but it's a good practice to store all those resources like strings. I will do that also with the colors, but with the next example with another text view. Let's follow the design. We need to increase a little bit the size of the text, and to do that, I think that is an intuitive property. Could you help me if you know, or is pretty simple, let's say. We need to think about how it's called in English. Text size. And we'll use also fixed dimension, like I don't know, 20 CP or 25, let's say. Another thing happened here. Now the text is not centered. I think that we need to add the gravity, and if you add the gravity, is another property that will center the text for us. Also, I saw that is a little bit different, the text. It seems that it's bold, and I will try to add. I really don't know the property now. I will try. It's freestyle. Text font, no, text how is called, textile. Yeah, you see, so it is sometimes is intuitive. You need to search in the properties options, and you'll find what exactly you need. For sure, I think Alex, when implemented the design, he chose different styles for the UI, and for that reason I think we have different results. But yeah, we can adjust it if we want. But I can check also in the second implementation how was implemented. Yeah, it's pretty similar. Okay, the text color was changed. But we'll continue with the bold one. Let's start the implementation of the subtitle. I forgot. What exactly I forgot to add here? Someone? What do you think is missing right now here? Do you know? Okay, then I will add it. Is the ID? If I will not add the ID for that UI element, I will not refer the next element to be constrained to that one. So I need again the ID, and I will add how it's called. Let's say title. Okay, then moving forward to the next UI element. Let's not add the bold text. Yeah, maybe we can keep it like that and changing the color to follow the design. To the next UI element, we have the subtitle to implement the design. I will skip a little bit the process because it's pretty similar. We need to add also text and to constrain based on the parents, and I really want to have enough time to implement also the game and also the buttons to start writing some code. And for doing that, I will copy from my already prepared UI elements, yeah, to speed a little bit the process. But the implementation is the same. We need to define some subtitles. We need to define some margins. I will explain also with the margins, because we have multiple ways to align the views. But let's copy these two first of all. Yeah, I really want to have enough time for implementing or adding also the code for animating the UI elements, because without the code we have a simple image. I forgot, I will, after adding these two texts, I will also run the app in order to see the results. But wait a second to constrain also to the title, and also, yeah, that's pretty all, because we only constrain the title. Then this one is constrained to the top, which is the this subtitle element, and all the items are constrained perfectly right now. You see that we have different properties here with different warnings, and maybe you are curious why we have these new properties. Also the colors. I will start with the colors first of all, because is the same thing with the string resources. We have also similar the colors. Let's assume that we have an app. Also at the beginning of the webinar, we have a question related night mode, dark mode. How will be able to switch from the light mode to the dark mode if I will have a hard-coded value here? Every time when I will run the app, we'll choose that that color. For doing that, we have the same version. We need to define some colors on the colors resource file. For doing that is pretty similar. We can either copy or we can define a new color like black one, and copy that color. Okay, and similar, we can refer the color. I think I added block black. Okay, and as you can see, we can refer it. In the future, if you will want to use night mode, dark mode, we need to define a file for all the night mode colors and also for all the light mode or day mode colors. What you'll see, it's pretty similar. Also, all these are text. Okay, is the connection is good? I really want to receive some feedback because yeah, I'm also on the. I'm not seeing the share screen, and yeah, I see only the Android Studio environment. Okay, pretty similar, should be done also for this one, but I said these are good practices. I encourage you to not keep the colors on the XML layout, to keep them on the colors, to keep all the strings in the string resources. That are things that could be found on the internet for sure, but yeah, this is the first step when we start to implement something in Android, because also these margins, for sure I implemented quickly and I wanted to see that everything is in place with the design. But if I'll do, or I will keep this dimension on the UI element right now, maybe we can store it similar with the colors and the strings in another file called dimension, and referring all the dimension to for the UI elements, because let's assume that in the future I will need some new margins for my for another layout, which is pretty similar with that one. What will happen? We'll need to add every time the 10 dps for each UI elements in the next screen, or I will reuse the dimension in the next screen. But yeah, this is because we have limited time and we need to also to implement some code, and I really want to implement with you code. That's the fun part, interesting, and I hope to enjoy it. Okay, then you'll see, yeah, let's move to the design. That was pretty all with the UI. I also was intentionally, I didn't mistake here in order to also correct that, because what exactly is here, creating the layout for your Android application is all about paying attention to detail. I was intentionally, because let's assume that if you are on the real product or in the production environment, you'll see some mistakes in the text, or I don't know, some user experience mistakes. You'll need to consult with the design team, because we are a team, and at the end we deliver the same project. I encourage you to do the same when you develop your project for the hackathon, to provide feedback and to fix some mistakes together, to discuss. It's all about working in a team. Okay, moving back, I said I will copy also that one, and I really want to go to the secret game. Let's copy and paste it here. Is the same. You saw I will you see I will add also the green color one to the color resources. Green one. Okay, and I'll copy it and paste it on the resources, and can refer it from here. And for sure, when we are starting to develop an application or a new screen or a new flow, we are using the same colors. What will happen? We'll try to hard code it, all the colors in the old screens, or we are storing or saving on the same file and reuse it. It's it's a good practice. Green one. Okay, Then on the UI, intentionally was added because, yeah, as I said, it's all about paying attention to details. You see, we have a small line here. Yeah, was designed, is in the design, and we need also to implement that line. For doing that, we have a special UI element, is called view. I will set the width at 1 dp or 0 dp, because also for sure needs to be constrained to the parent, 1 dp as a height, and the same start to start of parent and to end of parent. I think needs to be, let's add a color for it, black. And top should be at the bottom of the second paragraph. I'm not sure why it's not visible, or is visible is not. I'll increase the size. I'm not sure why is. I'll add also margin vertical around 60 dp. But I really don't know why it's not displayed right now. Diana Mihaela, could you help me a little bit, please? I really don't know why. Start and margin. Wait a second, we need to. That should be visible, but I really don't know why. What's missing right now?
So you put the color to views. I guess you need background. Not text color.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. It'll be 1 dp. Thank you so much.
No problem.
But it's a gray, I think. Margin will not be margin. We need star margin. And you see that was moved a little bit to the right, and margin will be the same. Yeah, I added the text color, sorry. And it's a view. And let's find a gray color, because it's not actually black. We'll try here to find a gray color. In the real production environment, we receive all these colors from the design team. We are not choosing from the ID or on our side. And let's say a margin top around same 60 dps. But I didn't run yet the application. Let's try also to run the app to see the results. Sorry for doing that. Let's see how it looks like. You see, it's pretty similar, but not the same. Seems that the title is not correctly constrained, and because we don't have some margins, and as you can see, this is displayed on the whole screen, and we'll need some margins. I don't know, 20 dp, and nice. Yeah, let's see now. Maybe we'll increase a little bit. There are multiple ways to center a text in the Android, but right now. Let's try the faster way. Okay, let's see. It's pretty similar right now. For sure, the icon should be smaller than that, but we are on the same page with the design. For the moment, for sure, we can make adjustments, and I encourage you when we're starting to develop something new, to develop first of all what exactly you are, to develop a first version, then after that to make adjustments to meet the requirements. I make the same thing every day when I starting to implement something new. Okay, moving forward to the next UI elements. Yeah, it's again a text. I will copy it because we don't have much time for implementing from zero. I will start to copy from here. Okay, and paste it. It's pretty similar. We need to refer, ID, view one, and view one. And now we need to implement the new UI element, which is an input. So we need to add some text inside it. To do that, we have also a design already by IDE, by the Android Studio. We can find it, and it's called input text input layout. We need the same constraint as for the rest of the items. So I will write 0dp here, wrap content, start of parent is pretty similar when you're starting to parent. End to end of parent, top to bottom of text view Easter egg. Okay, and inside it, we need to define the input edit text. You saw it, text, input edit text. This is an UI element that is designed for adding text inside. Will be the same, wrap content, top to top. I think that we don't need these constraints. We need to constrain that one to the button of Easter egg. Why not? And this one. Why actually is not constrained? I'll try text input edit, text and input layout. Okay, top to top, end to end of parent, top to bottom of. Okay. We need to define the hint. Oh, so it should be match parent and match parent, but I really don't know why. Why actually is not really constrained. Should not be wrap content for sure. Let's add the hint. First of all, will be the secret.
Dragos?
Yes.
Maybe for the constraint top to bottom of you could use the at symbol and ID.
Where?
Here.
Yeah.
Okay. There.
Thank you.
No problem.
Top to bottom of Easter egg. Okay, and also we need some margins. Margin start, margin 60 dp is the same, margin and the same 60 dp. We have the hint inside. The hint is used only for creating inside. I will add also some margin top in order to not be linked with the subtitles. 60 dps. Okay, and let's see what's missing. We have is password input. So for doing that, we have another property in Android. It's called input type, I think, and we have text password. And adding that, we'll see that when we'll start to enter some text inside the edit text, we'll have the same behavior, that all the characters are recognized as password and not visible. As you can see, this is a common behavior when using text input layout. We have the hint on the top after starting inserting some input edit text. And for adding also this helper text, we have the same properties called helper text. I think here could be added helper text, and I'll copy right now from the, it's on the second slide. Enter the secret keyword. You can see the secret, the helper text appears up on the bottom of our text input UI element. Let's start and run again the app. Yeah, I encourage you to run the app after each modification. Will be easy for you to track the changes and see the behavior. As you can see, the hint is displayed here, and after that we can insert some text. Let's add the button, and after that let's try to animate the UI. As you can see, I'm not able to do something with the UI elements. I'm clicking right now on the screen, it's an image, and that's pretty all. If we want to add some animation to interact with the UI elements, we need to add the code, and that's the part with having code in the main activity class. Okay, let's add also the button. I will let's copy it from the second one. Where is the button? In order to speed the process, I will explain a little bit also the structure of a new button. Okay, on the new button, you can see the text is also the same, mark as a warning, because we are not storing it in the string resource file. We have a intuitive UI element called button. We have the background is called is this green color. Again, some margin, some dimensions, pretty similar. All the elements should have these two properties mandatory. And yeah, I forgot to add ID here again. The problem with the ID. Let's call it input secret. Okay, submit button. We need to constrain it to be at the bottom of this input text. And when I will start to write code, I will need your help. I will not start to write it without you. Or did you try any other programming languages with if conditions or until now? Because we need to define some logic here for UI elements that are referring or for Android things. I will start writing, but for condition I will need your help if you want, for sure. Okay, now we have the button. As I said, without having in place code, we are not able to see something on the screen. We are pressing on the button, we can insert text, but without any feedback. Let's start to write the code. As I said at the beginning, I will write the code here for sure. I really don't want to mention that, but when we are developing real application. We are following different good, as I say, good practices, design patterns, architecture patterns. But for today, we'll resume the presentation of adding the code directly in the own create. Yeah, as the Android application has the same life cycle. We have a life cycle in general, and if you want, we can search it. As I said, everything is on the internet. If you know how to search, let's search for how it's called, Android life cycle, and you'll see that we have present the life cycle of the Android application. On create, we start on the on create, and you'll see that the on create is present here. Then we have the on start, on resume, on pause, on restart, sorry, on resume, on pause, on stop, on destroy. These are all part of the life cycle of an activity. It's pretty similar with what we have. We're born and all the other steps in our life. Okay, let's start to add the code. How do you think we'll do that? First of all, I said that will help you with adding or referring the UI elements on the UI. For doing that, we need to define a property. In Java, I think if you try Java, it's something string using for text. Then you need to provide, first of all, the type of data, then adding the name. And after that, you can define some code or to write some code. In Kotlin, it's a little bit different. You need to define a val property. Val means that is an immutable property. Var, that means could not be changed after initializing. Var is the opposite, like you can change after initializing. And we need to define a new property for storing the input text. For not that one, for storing the input text. How we'll do that? First of all, I said I'll help you with referring the input text, and I will said result input text, and I will use this that find view by ID. It's called text input edit text, and I will referring by using R. R is a class that was generated at the build time, and we can find here all the IDs that we need. How it's called? We refer also the IDs that are present on the second or the second layout that was implemented. This is not submit button. We don't have any ID here. Sorry. Again, the problem with IDs. Text input ID, and I will try to refer it here, and now I have a connection between the code and the UI elements. If I will try, I'll see that I have a lot of function methods that help me to extract the text, the ID, different things related to accessibility. If you encounter or if you tried accessibilities like talkback, screen size, font size, and yeah, a lot of accessibility things that help a lot. All the properties are generated, or the methods are generated, getter and setters. But yeah, I forgot to ask you, do you know something about wait a second, I missed here. I want to switch to the themes. Do you know something about the object-oriented programming? Or OP? Okay, I'll not entering into details. To keep it simple. Okay, I will extract the text from from the view, and for doing that we need result input dot text. Sorry, input text dot text, and that will be the text when I will start to write. So when I will start to write something and click on the button on that property, result input dot text will have the text that is currently added here, but will not use here. Let's refer it also the button, because we'll need the button. We'll need to create a correlation between the button and the input text. When we press the button, then we'll fetch the text from the input, and after that we'll display a pop-up. And I'll show you how to search on Google. It will be easy to see how to create a pop-up in Android, because I really want to show you how to do that. Okay, let's refer also the button. Okay, how it's called? It's actually submit button. Okay, this is pretty similar. We can a connection between button and .id that submit button. And for adding an action to that button, for sure, it's also intuitive. We need to apply some events. We have multiple events here, like set, on, and you'll see that there are a lot of options for the button. You see drag listener, focus change. So when the focus is changed from the button, or yeah, touch listener. There are a lot of methods, but for today, yeah, we have the simple one, click. When I will click on the button, what will happen? And now we need to define the behavior. But first of all, I will use this class to display a simple text because I really want to see that it works. Hello. The button was pressed. Okay. We need to add a duration for and to display it. That's a class that helps also me when I really want to see something on the UI, to debug something. I will add a toast, and when I run and click on the submit button, you will see that yeah, the text is displayed on the screen. Yeah, hello button was pressed. So now you see I realize a connection between the UI. So I started from the UI elements, which without the code is a simple image. And now we have a connection between the code and the UI elements. So now we can define some interactions. Sorry. Okay, now let's define the logic. What do you think? What we need to do? I said this is the property that holds the text. So I will have the text on that property. Let's assume that I will add test here, and when I will press submit secret, then a pop-up should be displayed. We'll define a pop-up, but we need a condition here. So when we are pressing on the button, we need to extract the text, and we did that. We have the text here. Not really, but if I'll add val, another property, text result equals our view dot text. Now we have the text here. So if you want to see that, I will add the text result here, text result dot toString. And you'll see that if I will add something new, this is the part which is displayed on the screen, the second parameter. If I will add test and clicking on the submit, you see the test is displayed. If we'll add webinar, then the webinar is displayed. So now we have the text. Now we need to define a secret. Let's see, the secret is webinar. Okay, define a secret as a string. We have the word webinar. And now we need to write some logic inside the event. When the user insert the webinar on the input edit text, then first of all, let's display the toast as we did. Do you want to help me with some if? Maybe will help you. An if condition. So here is the secret, the result, and here is the actual input when the button is clicked. So when I will try to add webinar, then clicking on the submit secret, then the toast will be displayed. Now I'll switch back to the presentation to be sure that you are with me now. Do you want to try? It's not hard. Let's try together if you want. Okay, then I'll write the code. It's not so hard if you are, if you use in the past the if condition or different condition. For doing that, we need to compare the text. That's pretty all. For sure, I encourage you when we develop something, doesn't matter, Python, Kotlin, Java, to have a lot of validation, because for sure we can add different characters here. We don't want to add different characters or to avoid clicking on the submit button when the text is empty. And also I will add that validation. But to do that is simple. We need to compare if the secret equals text result dot text result, and we have an error here. Okay, and we need to convert it to string. This returns an editable, and we need to have the string for that editable object. Okay, if we'll have this, the secret equals text result, then we'll end. We can also add a lot of conditions. We can say that, okay, text result is not empty. And for doing that, we need to add negation mark. Okay, then it's simple. I said, make test this. Great. You find the word. Toast, long, and show. Otherwise, else will display another toast message, and we'll say, please try again. Okay, that's pretty all. Let's run the app and we'll see if it works or not. Okay, if I'll add E, we have the message, please try again. If I'll add webinar, I hope that, great, you find the word. That's pretty much only an if condition for displaying the input text. It's not hard. As I said, you can find, if I will write to the ChatGPT to transform that structure in something, in other programming languages is the same. If you know, I don't know, Java, you can convert it easily using ChatGPT in Kotlin or in the other languages programming. As I said, I really want to learn you or to share with you how to find things. I have one point a discussion with my colleagues related interviews and candidates for different position in IBM or yeah, doesn't matter, in internship or a position with high level of experience. And we decided, okay, we are not expecting candidates with a lot of I don't know, knowledge, and where we are saying knowledge, we're referring hard or things that were memorized during the implementation. For sure, it's mandatory to know basic things like object-oriented programming, interfaces, and yeah, based on the programming. But when it's come to discuss about complex implementation and complex, we are not expecting to know how to implement something. And for doing that, we decided at one point, let's try to or to ask candidates to search on Google directly. And for that reason, I prepared a Google here for sharing with you how we'll do that. Okay, let's assume that I don't know how to implement a pop-up here. A pop-up is something, a box that will be displayed on top of the screen. And I really don't know how to implement it. And I will start to search on Google. How to implement a pop-up on Android Studio. In Kotlin, I will add also in Kotlin. For sure, if you ask ChatGPT, will provide faster the response. And you'll start to search. What exactly you need? You need to see what's the better idea or what's the good one, because you can find a lot of ideas here. I'll try to use the common Stack Overflow website and see different opinions. That's the point. Accept all cookies. And you'll see that, okay, we have a valid option here, but we'll not assume that is the perfect one. But for today, because we'll not have enough time, I will use that one. Maybe we can improve it a little bit now. Okay, and you see that we have pretty similar. We have the ID, we have the button with the event, and we need to display a pop-up. Let's see if I will copy the code from here. But let's not copy. It's not a good practice to copy code. Is what I really want to share also with you, because yeah, there are a lot of things that I want to share with you and to teach you how to do things. When you start to learn something new, please don't try to memorize all this instruction, because maybe in the next few weeks all this information will be lost. Try to understand what exactly you need to define. I will try to read, oh, sorry, not here. I will try to read the implementation from the Stack Overflow. There are a lot of websites. I said there are a lot of AIs, ChatGPT that could provide solution. But try to understand what exactly is displayed or you will add on your source code. Because as I said at the beginning, we are not writing code for computers, for machines. We are writing code for humans. And at the end, or in the next months, if my colleague or other colleagues will try to read what exactly I implemented, should be understandable and easy to be changed. And for doing that, I'll try as much as possible when I reading something new, something from the documentation, and I encourage you to read from the documentation to understand what exactly I will add on my code. That's the point, to filter the information that are found on the internet. Okay, let's try to display the alert dialog. I will define this in the same way. Oh, sorry, I think I deleted also the if. Instead of adding the toast, I will add an alert dialog, and you'll see that we have a class called alert dialog that builder, and we need to provide the context. It's pretty similar with what we found on the internet. This is use a common pattern called builder in different languages, programming languages, and we can set here the message, and let's see, great, you find the word. Okay, we can set positive button. What will happen when we click on the positive button and we have okay, we need a text for the positive button. Okay, we'll say that the button will be okay, and we need to define a dialog interface. And I said could be pretty similar with what is on the we have different parameters here for the dialog interface. In the we can rename also with underscore if will not use, and for doing that we need to dismiss the dialog when adding when adding here the dialog should be dismissed. We don't need the codes here. Okay, and what exactly need to do further, we need to say alert dialog dot show, and everything is in place. If we are looking on the internet, is pretty similar with what we found it, but we refine a little bit from my perspective, improve a little bit. There are a lot of mistakes also here. As you can see, I have a lot of text hard-coded, and as I said at the beginning, is not a good practice. All the text should be stored on the string file resources. But for today, for the example, it's okay for today. I will run. Let's see if we'll have a crash. We'll add the test. First of all, to see that the toast is still display, and after adding the the webinar word, then okay, a pop-up was displayed, and when it's pressed OK, then the dialog was dismissed. It's pretty similar. When you know what exactly you need to search on the Google, it's easy to implement everything that you want. That's the point of not bringing today too much complexity in our application, because we really want to share how to find on the internet your resources, what exactly you want, because for sure you'll not, if you choose Android Studio as a technology for implementing your project, for sure you'll not implement the same thing. You need to define different things, and you need to know how to search for all these things. And I will skip a little bit because we have only 3 minutes left until we finish. I will try also to implement quickly, but copying also the last part from the feedback. Yeah, let's copy and using, yeah, I really want to share with you also that, sorry for, I will try also to add quickly. Also, we need a view here similar, but okay, we have the new text. Yeah, at the end, feel free to share your thoughts about trying Android development and start your adventure by clicking on the next button. Similarly, we will refer the button. I really want to know the ID. It's feedback button. Okay, pretty similar. We'll set on new event, click listener. When the button is clicked, because it's called let's start the Android adventure. I decided together with my colleagues your start adventure on Android to be the Android Studio, Android developer website, because from our perspective is the perfect place for starting learning Android. developer website where you'll find a lot of useful information about the community, Google Play, how to develop courses for the beginners in Android, design, architecture, a lot of useful things, because I know that you need to bring AI in your project. If I will search for AI in Android, you'll see that Android is the perfect place to integrate AI on Android for Android developers, Gemini with Android in Android Studio. So we have the possibility to integrate chats with the possibility to write code. A lot of useful things. Hope to will help you for implementing your project. But as I said, this is the start point for your adventure in the Android world. Let's start also implementing when clicking on this button to open the website for the Android Studio developer. And I really don't know how to do that. I know, but today I really don't know how to do that. So I will start search on the internet how to open website from Android Studio. Okay, as you can see, my first idea was to join on the Stack Overflow. You see there are a lot of information. You see this information, a lot of likes. So we consider that was already tested before and provided feedback. And let's try to do the same. Okay, we have an intent, browser intent. Intent is used in general for starting new activities, for starting new screens, new activities, new screens. If I want to navigate between my activity to another activity, I will use an intent. I'll copy the intent. I will not want to spend too much because we have already 1 minute. Okay, as you can see, the code was initially in Java, and when I pasted on the IDE, already was converted to Kotlin. So that's another interesting thing. And I'll copy the Android website, copy the link, paste instead of having the Google one. Okay, and when running the app again, I think, okay, another problem. You see, I developed my UI elements without using any scrollable things. And when I will try to scroll on my screen, I'm not able to do that. You see, for doing that, we need to add another UI elements. It's so intuitive, scroll view, match parent. I will do it quickly in order to test the last functionality, and we'll end up with this one. Okay, we need to have also constraint layout here, match parent. Okay, I'll try to run it quickly. For sure, we need to clean up a little bit the code. And right now, as you can see, the screen is scrollable, only adding a scroll view to the screen. And clicking on the Android, if that is not working, why? Maybe that on click listener. I think that should work. Let's run it again. Okay, sorry, I'm referring the same button with the one that was previously added. We need to find the second button on the UI. Well, website button. define UI.id dot. Sorry, it was a button, and to refer it, feedback button. I think this is okay. Website button, set on click listener. Let's see now. Okay, and as you can see, the browser was open without an account, and I hope that no thanks. I will be redirected to the to the Android developer website. I think that's pretty all for today. As I said, I encourage you to not copy as I did today, but yeah, to presenting all these things, we need more time than we expected. I encourage you to work in teams. I encourage you to define tasks and work on the task, on different tasks. There are a lot of useful tools on the internet, like Trello for designing. We have, for example, how it's called? I forgot the name. Could you help me, Diana or Mihaela, with the name for a free
UI
tool?
design?
For UI design.
Figma, Abstract.
Exactly, Figma, I forgot. So important is to organize your team. Sorry? I can't hear you.
No, it was me. Sorry.
Okay. I think that's pretty all. If we can go to the last part with the Q&A. If we have any questions, sorry for moving faster to all these things, but I really wanted to share with you a lot of useful things that I consider together with my colleagues that will help you to implement your project during that hackathon. I know that it's Friday. I know that weekend is coming, but let's have a few seconds to discuss if you want, for sure. Then let's stop my screen so that Mihaela is at this office today. We are working from home. I working from home starting with 2020. Okay, stop sharing. So do we have any questions or I can talk with you about experience or how to structure, or do you have any idea about your projects? Did you establish something or an idea for your project that will implement for the hackathon? We can discuss about it. If not, we can close the call today. Hope to have a great evening and enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much.